Not letting me go live on Instagram. There we go. All right. Good. All right. We are ready. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, hi, this is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind group page. And today we're going live just like we do every other Monday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. So, we talk about, we have an agenda today. We're looking for busy spots where lots of people need cash. And then we want to know types of ATMs and new features in the ATM business. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you guys got questions, you can always just post them in the chat. And when I get a chance, I'll answer those questions. My name is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises. I've been in an ATM business for over 24 years. We have a course that teaches people called the ATM A to Z Mastermind course. It teaches people from A to Z how to be successful in the ATM business. And we sell ATMs, we process ATM transactions, we sell parts, and we help. If you just have general ATM questions, we can help with those. So I actually do ATMs myself. We have a business that actually has ATMs on the street, and we process thousands and thousands of transactions every month. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. And so we're looking for busy spots. And so to give you guys some tips and tricks, looking for busy spots in the ATM business. Where do I want to look at? What kind of places do I recommend? Now, what I recommend is to start in an area or a field that you guys, whatever the area is, and then dominate in that lane. So let's say I want to look at laundromats. Okay, so I'm going to put my ATMs in laundromats. I want to learn everything there is to know about laundromats in my area. Who are the dominant players? Is there a chain laundromat? Do they have some laundromats are cash only or coin only? They don't have a card system, or they don't take credit cards. Other ATM location or other laundromat locations, they do take the card system. So if they do take the card system, what am I expecting? If it's a small laundromat and it doesn't take the card system, I could be pretty successful. What am I looking for? I'm looking for probably somewhere around 100 washers, 100 dryers. So 200 pieces of laundry of equipment to be successful. If it's got less, I'm not going to be successful. It's just not going to happen unless there is another reason why people in the neighborhood need money. Maybe it's the only place in the neighborhood that they could get money. Maybe there's no banks. All there is my ATM, then I can be successful. But if I'm just in a spot where it's got, let's say, 25 washers and 25 dryers, and there's other ATMs in the block, I'm not going to be successful if there's not enough for traffic in that location. So rule of thumb is I'm looking for about 200 washers and 200 dryers, or 100 washers, 100 dryers to be successful in the laundromat business. Now, if they do have a card system, then they're going to need more washers and dryers, a bigger laundromat, because they're going to use the card. A lot of people, they will take money out of the ATM. And then what card system? Does it take credit cards in every machine, or does it require a card? And how do they put money on that card? Is it cash or is it debit card? So those are the kind of questions I want to look at. Just because it's a laundromat that doesn't have an ATM doesn't mean that I'm going to be successful with my ATM. There has to be a reason. No matter what area you're in, no matter what you do, you have to have a reason for them to need cash. So a coin laundry that doesn't have a card system, they're going to need cash to put into, they're going to have to get cash to go over to the change machine, to get quarters to put into the laundry machine. That's how I know it's going to be a good location. If it's a card system, what kind of card system? Does the card system, is it only cash? Does it take just cash to put on a debit card, to put on a card, and then they need that card to go to all the laundromat? It's okay. It's the same thing as having um, just just coins. All they're doing is eliminating the coins for the laundromat, but they still take cash. So that's not a bad situation. If they take credit cards at every one of those machines, I might think twice. You know what? I might put an ATM, but I might not. It depends on how many. So those are the factors you got to look for. But you have to look and see which lane you're going to dominate in. I just kind of broke down a laundromat situation for you. Does that make sense or does it make sense? You have to figure out what lane you're going to be and then dominate again in that lane. If it's laundromats, if it's hotels, if it's bars, if it's restaurants, if it's convenience stores, it's gas stations, is it dispensaries, is it truck stops, is it gentlemen's clubs? What lane am I picking? And then dominating that lane, because if you're in the convenience stores, more likely the convenience store owners, a lot of them will know each other. A lot of them are cousins or brothers or nephews or nieces of other people, and they just make it a family business. They buy one convenience store, the whole family works there. As they start making money, they branch out. One of the brothers or the cousins will go over to another convenience store, and so forth and so on. And it's good to get in with some of those people. But you have to know that when you're in. One of the things, when we started out, we were dominating in the bar industry. That's where we started out. That's where we cut our teeth. That's when we started out. And I knew a bunch of the bar owners, and I hung out in areas they had bar owner meetings, and we went to those meetings. And we went to, they had state conventions. We went to those meetings. We started to know as many bar owners we could, because that's the area that I wanted to dominate. But guess what? I try to get into other areas, the barbershops. I tried to get in convenience stores. I tried in gas stations. Failed. It took a while. I had to figure out what do these people do that I'm not doing. Well, when I was in the bar industry, what I noticed is, what did I do? I talked to a lot of bar owners. I went to meetings where bar owners were. Who did I talk to? I talked to liquor distributors. I talked to beer distributors, people who knew bar owners and what time they're at their locations and when they are. Best part about bar owners is most of the time they're small business owners and they are at their bar. Most of them are there 6 days a week. Some are there a little less, but they're almost all of them are at their bar. So it makes it easy when the owner is there to talk to the owner. Maybe they had an ATM premise. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they own their own ATM. Maybe they have somebody filling it. But now I got to talk to them and ask them the questions that I needed to ask to get our ATM into that business. So when I got into another arena, where it's laundromats or convenience stores, I needed to figure out all the crooks of the trade of what the special questions to ask. And you don't do that by just going in there once in a great while. You have to study the industry. You have to know. Laundromat, they have an association. Convenience stores, they have an association. A lot of these people have an association. You can go to association. They also have vendors. You can learn from vendors. These are the things that you want to do once you figure out a spot. And then what kind of spots? If you want to check out, if you want to go after barbershops, you have to have a minimum of so many chairs. Are they an owner-operated barber? Which means it's the barber, he owns the store. Maybe he has another guy cutting hair with him. Is that going to be a good location? He might be cash only, but he's got two barbers. So he's not working. The other guy worked part-time. Is that going to be enough for you? Most of the time, you're going to need a certain number of barbers in the location. You're going to need a certain number of chairs. Those chairs got to be going the whole time to increase your odds of making money. If they're not, you don't make money. So you got to figure out, those are the kind of things you got to figure out when you're in space. But if you won't figure that out unless you dominate in a particular lane. So that's what you need to do, is dominate in that lane, whatever that lane is. Again, I mentioned 7 or 8 different lanes. You can pick one and then dominate. You will be successful in the ATM business if you decide to dominate in that lane. I talk about it all the time, but I see so many people, they're in a laundromat, they're in a convenience store, they're in a barbershop, they're in a bar, and the market shifts and they can't see the shifts because they don't understand the lane. You have to understand the lane. And how do you do that? By studying the lane that you're in. It's the only way to do it. So hope some of that was helpful tonight. I got other thing is what's hot right now, or is starting out, is this little baby. It's like an NFC reader, and I'll show you it like this. So Gen Mega has started authorizing this on their ATMs. This is NFC, which means this is tap. You take your card, you tap, and authorize, instead of you dipping and taking your card and putting it in a card reader, you take it and tap. Now it doesn't authorize a transaction right away. You still have to put your PIN in, and then you can go out and you can get and you can get money from this device. And it's not on all the processors. It's only on one processor right now. Will other processors come into effect? Yeah, they might. I don't know if they will or when they will. And it's not on Nautilus Shosung. It's not on Hantel. It's not on, I don't know. I don't know about Hantel, but it's not on Nautilus Shosung. It's not on Triton. It's not on Plume. So it's just on Gen Mega right now. It gives you the ability to, now here's the truth. This thing right here, we argued about this about 10 years ago when they went to EMV. We said, why don't we go to this? We go to this, it'll save us all the money from upgrading to the NFC or to the EMV. And then guess what? We would be ahead of the game. But guess what? Who didn't listen? Visa, MasterCard. They didn't give a shit. So, but we did talk about this. So for some guys saying, well, how come they didn't do it sooner? We talked about it sooner. We wanted to do it. Guess what? They didn't want to do it. So we spent thousands of dollars upgrading the card readers, and now it's starting to come out. But very excited about it. Some people will gravitate towards it and do it. Others will not. But you know what? You could be first on the block to do that if you're interested. Hey, we process those transactions. If you're interested in doing that, we can help process those transactions. Again, it's only on Gen Mega for you guys out there in TV land that wanted to do it or try it. You're looking at about a $500 upgrade if you're looking to do it for your Gen Mega. Not every Gen Mega it's going to be compatible with. So you'll have to have, if you got an older one, it might not be compatible with, but just for the sure ounce of where you're going to put it, you're going to have to find a spot. You might have to cut a hole in your top of your bezel. It does work pretty good on the 2500s, but maybe not everyone it will work. So just to give you that, but that's a new feature that's out there. All right. And then the last thing is it's always good to know other people in the ATM industry. You know what? We're one of the people. You can always ask us questions. We can here to help with you in the ATM industry. Sometimes it's good just to run by something in the ATM industry that you don't know about. So I do want to bring up the fact that we are seeing additional pressure on banks. So one of the things that I would do is, if you're in the ATM business, please go to your local city council meeting. Let them know that you're in the ATM business and that and if you have a local bank who is in your local neighborhood, please go to the city council and just say, hey, my name's Phil. I'm from PDQ Merchant Enterprises, name of your company. I'm an owner operator, or I got 2 or 3 employees. I've been in the business X amount of time. We pay taxes. We have jobs. And we really value our banking relationship with XYZ Bank. And you know what? We want to make sure that you as city council hold these guys accountable, because this is a way that, you know what, the city council has a responsibility to the local community to make sure that there's banking needs for their citizens and their business owners. You're a business owner, you're paying taxes, and you want to make sure that they're there. I see some of the bigger banks, as we talk about it, hey, they don't want to bank us. You know what? Go to city council and complain about it. Tell them that whatever the bigger banks, they don't want to. I'm saying this all the time now. I want to start a movement. Go to your local city council. This is the best way. Don't worry. Don't wait about it to your the big boys, the national associations trying to fight this out. You know what? we've been trying to fight this out for 10 years. Take it local where it's more personal. Let's do a grassroots program. Go to the local city council, let them know who you are, and do this. This is something, it's a movement that we need to start grassroots, just like some of the big boys do when they're running for office. Grassroots approach. I'm done waiting. I'm tired of spending the money to fight it on a national level. Let's take it locally. It's the only way to do this. Let them know what time of day it is and help fight the movement for you guys. So that's me on my soapbox. I just see some other guys, little guys, and they're getting pounded by banks. Let's fight back. Go to city council and fight the good fight. So with that being said, we're going to move on like we do ever. I don't see any new questions coming on. So we're going to move on to our student section. Again, we sell a course that teaches you from A to Z how to be successful in the ATM business. We're going to move on to our student section where we have an accountability call every other Monday right after this call. And we talk about what's going on in the ATM business and how to position yourself to be more successful. So, hey, I want to thank you guys. Remember about that city council thing because it's going to be a game changer for us. You got to get involved. Go to your local city council, get involved, let them know that you're a business owner and you need that bank to bank you. So with that being said, good night. And thank you guys very much for being part of the ATM Mastermind group. Thank you.